And here now is Mark Morgan, former acting Customs and Border Protection Commissioner and Heritage Visiting Fellow. Mark, you heard the president say there's no crisis at the border, but then you hear there's a 120% increase in kids trying to cross the border. That sounds like a crisis to me.
Yeah, David, look, I've been serving this country for over 35 years. This pains me to say this. I have no joy to say what I'm about ready to say is that the current DHS secretary of this country, and yes, the president of the United States, has blatantly lied to the American people, David. Look, it's not just about the UACs have doubled. Overall encounters have doubled at the southwest border. We're looking at almost 5,000 apprehensions a day. Look, those are crisis level numbers. And while at the same time, they've dismantled every effective tool, authority, and policy that was addressing the illegal immigration crisis. And so they've sent a clear message that our borders are wide open. Yeah, you bet. We have a crisis. That's the truth.
And it couldn't come at a worse time for Texas. I mean, right. Texas is just about to fully reopen the economy, to reopen its system after a lot of hard work, frankly, and companies and businesses going out of business because it's been locked down. We're about to open, and that's when they release 100 COVID-infected immigrants into the state. I mean, it's the worst time imaginable.
It's much worse than that. And again, the press secretary is absolutely misleading the American people. We've got multiple agencies that are involved in this, what I call the immigration continuum. So you have HHS, right, that takes the children. They're testing them. They're testing. When I left, 11% of they were tested were COVID positive. ICE, they test individuals as well. So she's misleading the American people, and they have also tested positive. And we've seen this, and we were sounding this alarm months ago, and they've completely ignored it. Instead, they are absolutely incentivizing, encouraging, and facilitating people to illegally enter this country. And David, they have gone through multiple COVID hotspots, are kept in unsanitary, overcrowded stash houses. I could go on, mobile petri dishes, but yet this is what they're encouraging.
Then, Mark, because we have a long border, there's another state that just had a horrific car crash in California. There were 13 people that died. They were stuffed into this SUV. About 25 in total. 13 is a horrible number, but it actually could have been worse than that. The van actually drove through a hole that they had cut in a fence. This is old fencing, pre-Trump fencing, the kind of fences that President Trump was trying to replace all along the border. What do you make of this? I mean, again, for those people who say that you guys were heartless in the Trump administration because you kept everybody out, this is what happens when you open up borders, or at least seem to the immigrants.
David, that's absolutely right. Look, we are in the middle of insanity. This is exactly what we saw in 2019 before the Trump administration was able to close the loopholes. Right now, because of the almost 5,000 a day, our resources are being pulled off the line to deal with the unaccompanied minors and families, that humanitarian side. Meanwhile, we've got swatches of our border are wide open and unpatrolled because of that. We're going to see more of this. This is just yet to come. This is not surprising, unfortunately. And the Biden administration, this is preventable, David. This is being driven by the open border policies, and the cartels and smugglers are taking advantage of it, and this is the result.
Mark, I know you stay in touch with a lot of the border agents. What are they telling you?
Look, I tell you, this is a big thing. The secretary, he made a big mistake when he used the White House as his pulpit to say unconscionable, reckless things like the fact that the policies before were cruel. By the Secretary of DHS saying that, he is implicating every man and woman that was involved in implementing the policies, that they were complicit in implementing cruel policies. That's outrageous, it's reckless, and he owes every man and woman an apology.
Well, you know, the bottom line is, because I've talked to a lot of these agents myself, and a lot of them do more in saving lives than they have in endangering lives. It seems that right now, more illegal immigrants' lives are endangered by these policies than they were before. It's a situation that I consider to be a crisis, or at least it's growing into one. Mark Morgan, thank you very much for coming in. Good to see you again. Appreciate it.